The unmistakable sight of a kestrel hovering. This was one of the first birds we saw here in Malta last week. But yesterday, volunteers from the Committee Against Bird Slaughter filmed another one. That wasn't the only kestrel to be shot this week. On Tuesday, this adult male was found on the ground by a member of the public and taken to the vets. What do you think?
I think it's broken. We'll take an X-ray to see if there are any pellets.
Yeah.
Okay, keep the head covered and we'll be fine.
Back.
Okay.
And everybody?
Everybody out, please.
So the bird's been X-rayed. So I've got hold of my finger again. And this will be a moment in which we'll learn whether he's been shot and also how bad that break is. Oh dear, dear.
Want to?
Yeah, there's no doubt, is there? It's really disappointing. Obviously the X-ray shows very clearly that the bird's been shot. You can see the two little pellets which are in the wing there. And yeah, I mean, it's illegally shot, obviously. This is a bird that's protected all over Europe. It's a bird that's in critical decline in the UK. It's a bird that I've loved since I was a boy. So the idea of someone turning a gun on them is beyond belief, really. We ought to say, I suppose, that this, although it's a kestrel, it's not a bird that will migrate through Malta and end up in the UK. This is not potentially a UK breeding bird. But, of course, it's a bird that should be breeding commonly all over Malta. That isn't the case because of situations like this. One group of species that is breeding here are the Shearwaters, Scopolis and Yalcuan. This is nest cam footage of a Scopolis from where they breed on these sheer cliffs. This bird was also picked up with an injured wing. Another X-ray reveals the sadly predictable shotgun pellets.
As you can see in the body, there is a couple of pellets, what I'm pointing. There is another one on the neck area, there is one in the head as well, and
some in the wing there.
The wing.
Yeah.
In actual fact, this wing is broken.
How many birds a year do you see that are shot like this?
I think we see, depends on us in the season, between 60 to 100, 110.
And what sort of birds do you get in? This is a seabird, obviously, but
Seabirds, we see any kind of birds that they migrate.
Raptors?
Raptors, yes. Raptors, but even singing birds, and then there is a swift, I mean, any kind of bird. Gulls, everything. What flies, the hunters, they shoot.
And how do you feel as a vet when you see these birds that have been shot in your countryside?
I mean, I hope that one day will stop.
Now, 80% of the birds that are brought into the vets are euthanised. But those which are fit enough for rehabilitation come here to the government quarantine facility that you can see behind me. We haven't been allowed access into that facility, but I've spoken to the staff on the phone and I can tell you that both the kestrel and the shearwater are doing well. But I can also tell you that they're quite seriously under-resourced here. They're desperately in need of veterinary equipment, drugs and even basic materials, things like the artificial grass that birds have to rest upon whilst they're recovering. So if you've got anything like that, please donate it to BirdLife Malta. Get in touch with them, get it into their hands, and they'll pass it on to the people who are working very, very hard in this facility behind me. Unfortunately, it wasn't long before we were back at the vets. Another bird had been brought in, a Montagues Harrier, maybe one of those birds I've been watching just this morning. It's a stunning, stunning bird, but it's got a really horrible injury.
Oh, this looks really bad. Really, really bad.
Yeah.
When did they bring it to you?
A couple of hours ago they picked it up. We rushed over, a BirdLife team and brought it straight here, which is...
Because this is really still bleeding.
Yeah.
And I can feel the fracture under my hand. Listen, I think we should take an X-ray of this.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we see
How
what
bad
we
it
can
is.
do about it.
Hi. Hi.
We'll be taking the X-ray today.
Okay, yes.
I would need you to put this on. Okay? Protect you from the X-rays.
Yeah.
There we go. So this is the right one here. Okay, I will
Yeah.
need everybody out. Shoot an X-ray. That's it. This really doesn't look good, because if you come closer, you can have a look at the picture yourself as well. And we will see a pellet here, and it is right sitting in the joint. So here I can see little fragments of the bone as it is broken with the pellet. And once this is a fracture which involves the joint, this doesn't really, I don't think that we can repair that. I mean, this will eventually heal, but I mean, this healing is not enough here. I mean, we don't want this bird sitting in a cage for the rest of her life or his life, because he cannot fly with this wing.
So this bird is one of the 80% that just won't make it.
So, if you could hold the bird, please. No, this is not really a painful procedure, even though that it's a horrible thing.
Sorry, little bird.
So what I would like is if you could just hold the head a little bit.
Yeah.
I would need the abdomen here, because I will come from here. Okay. I think it's...
How long does it normally take?
I mean, I think he's already getting, yes, I think it's now like anesthetized.
It's gone.
It's not gone, but he's still breathing, but like slowly going to sleep. Because what we use is a very strong anesthetic. So it's slowly, as you know, the medicine will enter the bloodstream, it's slowly it fades away.
That's a bloody miserable business, isn't it?
You know, it's not a pleasant thing to do, it's really sad. This should never happen. It should really never happen. But we have to stay here and do this.
Oh God, honestly, we've got to stop this. This is madness, absolute madness. Sorry, but it's just it must be getting soft. Right, okay.
Okay, so let's...
I'll tell you what.
Okay,
I'll tell you what.
We are going to put him to the... Let's put him back in the box.
Okay. Right, let me tell you something. This bird has just gone from being one of the most beautiful birds we've got in Europe, one of the rarest breeding birds in Britain, and now it's just become another statistic here on Malta. Let's make that statistic count, okay? Because being here was pretty bloody rubbish.